Morning, guys. In this session, we're going to discuss about file handling and file operations. Let me create a new file. Okay, file handling. You can say operations. So, what is file handling in Python? So till now we were taking inputs from the console, right? And it is going to write back to the console to interact with the user and as well as the from the script. It will take the input from the user and it will do some kind of operations and then it will revert back that output to the console after once your script is executed. Sometimes it is not enough to only display the data on the console. The data can be displayed maybe very large and only for a limited amount of data can be displayed on the console. Since the memory is volatile, as we know that, it is impossible to recover the programmatically generated data again and again, right? To overcome this, we use file operations, or you can say file handling. The file handling plays an important role uh, when the data needs to be stored permanently in a file or into the file. Okay, a file is just a location. A file is just a location on the disk to store related information. A file is nothing but file is a named location in a memory or in disk. In disk to store data, right? We know this. And to data, not only data, you can say information. We can access the stored information after the program terminates. Once the program terminates, we can access the stored data. That's the main advantage of file handling. The file handling implementation is slightly complicated, as I can say, it's lengthy in programming language, but it is easier in Python. In rest of the programming languages, it's pretty lengthy or complex. Okay, but when it comes to Python, it's a little bit easier. So in Python, files are treated in two modes: as a text or in binary. The file is treated in two forms. First one, text. Second one, binary. So these are the two forms where our file is going to be treated. These are the two forms. Okay. The file may be in the text or binary format, and each line of a file is ended with the special character. And every line in a file will be ended up or closes with a special character. Hence, a file operation can be done in three formats. Actually, there are three operations. First one, operations, or you can say handling. First one, opening a file. Second one, after once you open, you can read or you can write. Okay, you can read or you can write. That you can say these are the operations. Okay. Uh, okay. These are the operations, guys. And the last one is once you open the file, and you have to close the file. That's it. These are the three operations which you're gonna perform on files. We'll look into one by one in close. First one, opening a file. First, we'll discuss about opening a file. So Python provides an open function. This is a built-in function. This is a built-in function in Python. This is a built-in function, and that accepts two arguments. It has two arguments, which are namely, first one, the arguments are first one, the file name and access mode. These are the two arguments which this open method takes. Okay, in which the file is accessed. The function returns a file object which can be used to perform various operations like reading, writing, and many more. Okay, let me take you to the syntax, how this will looks like. Syntax: we'll take file object, any file object, then we'll go with open method, keyword open, then open close parenthesis, because as I told you this is a method. Then we'll have the first thing will be file name, and next one will be after this access mode. As I told you, there are, it will take two arguments. Then there is one more optional one, buffering option. This is optional. Okay, this is how a open method looks like. The files can be accessed using various modes like read, write, append. So I'll give you a few access mode to open a file. Okay, what are those access modes? File name we know, but what about the access modes? First one, read. Not like we'll go one by one. Okay, read. What it does? R. R in the sense, if you represent, if you just give R in place of access mode, it will take the form read. So it will, this will open the file to read only mode. The file pointer exists at the beginning. The file is by default open in this mode if no access mode is passed. If you do not pass any kind of mode, it will by default it will take read mode. Next, RB. RB. As I told you, there are two forms. There are two forms of a file. One is text, one is for binary. R is for text and RB is for binary. Same operation, but it will opens in a binary format. Read in binary format. Then next one, R plus. It opens the file to read and write both. It will open both read and write. Okay. In both, the file pointer exists at the beginning of the file. Okay. Here it is for text. For binary file, it is RB plus. That's it. For binary format. This is for normal text formatted file, and RB plus is for binary format file. That's about read. Then we'll go for write. So write is nothing but W. We will represent this by using keyword uh, key character, that is W. It opens the file to write only mode. It overwrites the file if previously exist, or creates a new file if no file exists with the same name. The file pointer exists at the beginning of the file. We know this. And WB. And this is for same thing, but it opens the file or file to write only mode in the binary format. Same thing. If there is no, if the file exists previously, it will overwrite, or else it will create a new file. Okay, if there is no file. Next, W plus. So what does it mean? It will opens the file in both read and write formats. Okay, next, WB plus. This is same thing for binary formatted files. Next one, A. It means it opens the file in the format of append mode. This is nothing but, let's say you have a text file where you have some data, some 10 lines of code. Then if you want to add two more lines, then you can use the parameter or argument A, which means after 10 lines, if you want to add two more lines, then you have to use A as the access mode. It will just appends the 2 lines to the existing 10 lines of the uh, information in the file. Next, AB. AB is nothing but this is for binary formatted file, for same very similar to text file. It will uh, add the extra data to the your existing data which is present in the file in the form of binary format. Next, A plus. It will opens sorry it will append the file. It will opens the file to append in both read and write modes. Next, AB plus. It is for binary format. Are we clear? Any doubts, Raju? These are the access modes for open. Do you have any doubts? Okay, fine. Let me take you with a simple example. I'll give you one simple example for this. So let's say, as I told you, the syntax looks like first it will take file pointer, then here it will take file pointer, then open method, then you will have open close braces. In the braces, as an argument, you will have two arguments, one file name, next will be access mode, right? So let's create one file pointer, any temporary. I'll say PTR, anything. You can take anything, guys. File pointer, space, space is not mandatory. Open. Here, first one. What is the name of the file? That should be in double quotes. Let's create one file. Any file. File.txt. Does anyone text it or what? Okay. What was it? Difference between R plus and W. See, I'll tell you what is the difference between R plus and W. Okay. So here is that okay, R plus W. Get it. So here R plus, it opens the file to read and write both, and the file pointer exists at the beginning of the file. This is R plus. Okay, it will opens the file in both read and write formats, read modes, but the file pointer will be present in the beginning of the file, whereas in W it opens the file to write only. You cannot read in W. You cannot read, you can only write the file. And if it overrides the file if any previous file exists with the same name, if you use access mode as W. And if there is no file, it will create one file. Okay, it will create one file with the same name, and the file pointer obviously exists at the beginning of the file. Any doubts? Okay, fine. Let's look into the example, and here you will have the name of the file, and this is the first
Okay, bro,
argument.
clear.
Let's look into the second argument. What is the second argument? Mode. So mode also should be in single quote, or you can go with double quote. Here I'll take R as the read as the file pointer, so that I can read it in read only format. If that file pointer, whatever I have taken, if that file pointer is exists, then I want to print that the file is successfully opened. Okay. Okay, let's run this. It says there is no such file or directory, because there is no such file in uh, here. So that will create one file. So for this, let me create a file on desktop. So I'll go with some text file. So I'll name this as session 12.txt. Okay. Let's add some data. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let's save this and close this. So I have to take the path. This is the path. So what is the name of the file? It's what is the name of the file? It is session. What is the name of it is 12. That's the name of the file, right? So let's run this. It says it won't accept this for this slash. See the where it is successfully opens, it will print the file is successfully opened, which means the file is successfully opened. This is a simple example for opening a file. Any doubt? Okay, we'll go with close method now. Okay, second one. The first one is open, it's done. So the second one is close method.
No, bro.
So once all the operations are done on the file, we must close it through our Python script using the close method. See, whenever any unwritten information gets destroyed once the close method is called on a file pointer, or you can say file object. Sorry, not pointer, it's file object. So any unwritten information that will be collapsed or deleted or faded or destroyed once the close method is called up in the script, wherever, whenever, and if you call this close method, all the information will be unsaved information will be destroyed. Okay, this is used to close the file, and moreover unsaved data will be unsaved information will be faded, or you can say destroyed if close method close method calls. Okay, on what? On file object, we can perform any operation on the file externally using the file which is in the currently opened in Python. Hence it is good practice to close the file once all the operations are done with your file. Okay, let me take you to the syntax. The syntax looks like file object, whatever the file object you have taken, file object dot close method. That's it. This is the syntax, guys. Whatever the file object you have opened, the same file object you have to take with a dot operator, then go with the close keyword along with parenthesis so that it will consider that as the method. Let me give you one simple example for this. Okay, as we already opened this file, same thing, after once you open you have to close. So here comes out of the loop, then use this file pointer. That's the name which I have taken, file pointer, the same file pointer dot close. That's it, guys. It will get closes. So it is successfully closed. So that cannot be visible over here. Once it is done, if it is closed automatically, you will not see anything. Okay, after closing the file, we cannot perform any operations on the file or in the file. The file needs to be properly closed. If any exception occurs while performing some operations in the file, then the program terminates without closing the file. As I told you, any exceptions occurs if any while performing some operations on the file, the program terminates without a without invoking this close method. Are we good? So uh, how do we encounter these exceptions in a sense using try finally block. So how in a sense you should come up here. These are exceptions, guys. Exception handling in Python in file. Sorry, using you'll have try block. After try block, you will have the code. Once come out of the loop and go with finally keyword, then you will have the code again. This is how the exception handling in file on files. You'll use the try and finally blocks. See here for this, as I told you, we're gonna have try block here. So once it is done, we'll go with finally keyword. If there are any exceptions, see, let me run this. It says there is no exception. So that is the reason we did not get any exception in the file. So actual code will be in the try block where you want to catch the errors or the exceptions in your code. Once it is done, the close method should always be in finally. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now there is one more method. Sorry, one more way to open a file. That is with method, with statement. Sorry, with statement. We can use the with statement to open a file instead of just taking file pointer. See here, we have to take one file pointer, then you should call one open method on the file, this and that. So we can avoid this in a single statement using with statement. The with statement was actually introduced in Python 2.5, I guess, and the with statement is useful in the case of manipulating the files or performing operations on the file. It is used in the scenarios where pair of statements is to be executed with a block of code between those. So in between there, if there are two statements, if you want to perform any kind of manipulations in between those two statements, then we can use the with statement. So let me give you syntax for this. What is the syntax? So the syntax, how the syntax looks like in the sense, it will, as I told you, with is the keyword and open is the method, and we'll have what arguments. What is the first argument? As we know, file name. Next, we'll have access mode. Now, once it is done, we should give the file pointer here instead of giving prior to pre to our statement. Post to will give post. Okay, here as a file pointer or file object. Okay, this is a single line statement. So then here we will have the code. This is with statement. Let me give you demonstrate you with an example. The before going to it, let me tell you something. The advantage of using with statement is that it provides the guarantee to close the file regardlessly how the nested blocks are anything if it exists. So it doesn't matter how many blocks are nested loops are exist, but it will closes. It will make sure that the file get closed properly. So it is always suggestible to use with statement instead of this open direct file pointer. Just go with statement in case of file, because uh, if the break, return, or exceptions occur in the nested block of the code, then it is automatically closes the file. We do not need to close it manually by calling this close method. Okay, it does not let the file to get corrupt. Okay, as I told you in before, using this file pointer, this file pointer an open method, regardlessly it will closes the file without destroyed. Unsaved data will be faded away using this close method, right? So but here if you use with statement, uh, it will avoids the corruptions on the file if any occurs. Let me give you one simple example for with open statement. Okay. Okay, let me comment all this. Okay, here first we'll go with open, as I told you, and it will have file name. We'll take this same file here which you have taken here, the same file, the file name, then access mode. What is the access mode? I'll take in read mode. Then once it is done, I have to take this as file pointer. Name of the file pointer, guys. What is the name of the file pointer? Anything. It's up to you. Now I will take let's say F. Okay, F as the file pointer. Then I'll say information, anything. Information about the information, anything. You can take anything. Okay, information or content, anything. Okay, that file pointer is F dot. I want to read. Once this read is done, then I'll go with print whatever is there. So I want to print that information, whatever in my file. Let's run this. It will throw an error because it says Unicode error. So reverse the slashes. What it says Unicode position at the escape character. Okay, here. Okay, and this is example for what this one. Okay, okay. Let's run this. See, 123 is the data which is in the file. Let's cross check this. So this is the file which you are reading. It says this is the 123 data. Next, 456 789. So let me save this data. Okay, it should print 123 456 789 by next time if I run this now. Same, I'll rerun this. See, it says 123 456 789. Are you clear? Any doubts? Okay. Now we have added some text to the file manually. Let me write the file. So if I want to write from here, how can I do this? For this, you have to go for the third operation, that is third mode, close
No,
mode.
bro.
Okay, we'll look into this. The third one is close, close method. And before sorry, close is done, writing we have discussed first one and second one, sorry, third one. We haven't discussed the second one. Reading is done. Now we'll go for writing. The first one, open is done, close is done, read is done. Now we'll go with the last operation, write. Write method. What is that write method? To write something. We'll use this for to write something, something into file. That's it. To write some text to a file, we need to open the file using open method with one of the following modes like W or W or A. So which means W for write, A for append. Okay, using these two modes we have to open the file. So what is the difference between this W and A? What is W in the sense? It will overrides the file if any file exists. See, let's say we have session 12 right on the desktop. That file will be replaced, overwrites. It's if any files, even though if there is a session 12, if you try to add some information, that will overwrites. So let's say it has a 1 2 3 4 5 6, right? Here it will be overwrite. So let's say if I want to write after 9 0 0 0, this whole data will be deleted, and 0 0 only be available on the in the file. If I use w, it will overwrite all the data. But whereas if I use w, it will append the existing file. After 9, it will append the zeros, which means the existing will data will be present in the file, as well as the next data which you want to add, that also will be available on the available in the file. Okay, you got the difference, guys? Any doubts you have? Do you have any doubts about writing file? And we use write method. Syntax will be just write. Syntax will be file pointer dot write method. This is the syntax, and you will have the one argument like content or text, whatever you want to add. For this, let me give you a simple example. See here, if I execute this, it says this is the one. After reading, I want to uh, open the file in the format of write. As I told you, I want to open this in write mode. Then after once it is done, the information I'll go with read. So it says because it has taken information, it's not we have taken right. You have to open the file in the format of W. Then you'll go with the append the text. So for this, let me modify this. Okay. Once if I open the file, then I'll go with the file pointer. What is that? F dot write is the method. Then I'll write something. Let's say 000. Okay, 3 zeros. I want to add. Once I'm done with this, I'll use the file pointer dot close method to close my file. Let me run this. So it says nothing. It says nothing. Now I want to open the same file. Before closing, 1 second, guys. Next, again I'll go with open file, the same file. Now it has. So let me 1 second. So if I run this now, what it says? It says nothing. So the 000 will be written on the file. Let me open this file. Where is that file? See here. Before it was 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Now it has triple zeros. There is no existing data, right? This is the new data which we have written on the file. So which means whatever the data you have previously, that will be deleted, and the new data will be added to your file. That is how works with write. Now let me take you to the example with same example with append method. That is same append. Here access mode will be changed, and here I'll add after 000 I'll add 1 2 3. Let me write with 1 2 3. Then I'll close this. Now it is done. So let me open the file. See here, 000. Then later what it has? 1 2 3. Whatever the data you give, that will be appended to the existing data. Are we clear about the difference between W and A? Good. That is good. So let's say we have so many methods here. First, let me go with some read method. As we know, I want to know the count of the, so I want to know the count the number of bytes to
Yes,
read from
bro.
a file. So how can I do this? So for this, let me copy this, paste it here. Count method. Now we'll go with count method. So what it is, it will give you the count. So for this, what is the syntax in the sense? The syntax will looks very simple, guys. File pointer dot read of count. That's it. What is the count? For this, let me give you a simple example. First, we'll open the file. Okay. For this, I'll use one file pointer. Uh, File pointer is equals to open the file. And what is that file? Uh, this is the file which I want to open. So this is the file path. Here I have taken the path, same path, and I'll take with the read only mode. Then once I have opened this file in read only format, now I want to store all the data into one variable. I want to once I read the content of the file, I must store somewhere. Let me take some data or anything, any variable name you can take. And file pointer, what is the file pointer? FP is the file pointer dot read. So let's say I want to read 4 characters, 4 bytes actually. So I'll print the now next I will print the type of the data stored in sorry guys. Next I will print the what is the data which is stored in my file. So for this, print type and the content, whatever the data I have, the type will be printed. Now I want to print the content. For this, I'll go with data, right? Then once it is done, I'll go with close. Once you done, you have to close the file using file pointer dot close, right? Just run this. What it says, it is a string. What is the file data type? It's a string. Now here I have print. I have tried to access 4 characters from my file. So one, two, three, four, 4 bytes of the code. Let's say in my file I have uh, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, this is the content. So let's say I want to print first 2 characters or 3 characters or 5 characters, 6 characters, anything. Let me go with some example. Hello, how are you? Okay, this is the content in my file. Okay, let me uh, open up first 4 characters. It says hell, right? If I go with 5, it will print hello. See here, this is how you can read the content of a file using some particular uh, characters. If you want to read some particular characters, then you can go with it. So this is example for this. Next, we can use this using for loop. We can read the file using for loop. How can we read the file using for loop? Very simple, guys. Very simple. Let me take you through that. First, I'll open this file. Already opened. Okay. Then I'll run one. I have opened the file. Okay. Next, I'll go with for. I want to print all the characters, all the data in my file. Then I'll go with the for loop. I in anything. FP is the file pointer we have taken. Then once it is done, I want to print that I, which means it will print the all the content of your file. See here. Hello, how are you? See, I have accessed all the characters or the data which is in my file. This is using for loop. Any doubts, guys? Any doubts? Hmm. No, no. If see for for is not a conditional. For is for iteration. For conditions we go with if condition. If is a whether it is true or false. If condition fails, this condition
Bro, generally,
passes, then that.
for loop
That's
is used for
conditional in the sense
conditioning,
if.
right?
For is
Like
used for
if I
what
is
will
less than or
happens here.
equals to 5
It
or
will
I
fetch the
less than or
first I
equals to
in the
10,
sense
like
it
that.
will fetch the
Checking
first
condition and the
character,
printing.
that is h. It will be printed. Then loop again.
Okay,
If there
okay.
is looking for the second character, it will e. It will be printed. Then l. In the similar way, it will comes to the question mark. Once it is done, there will be a at the end of the line there will be a one special character that is null. Okay, that null. If it I is equals to null, it the loops will get terminates. It will not iterate again. Okay, good. Next, this is using for loop. Next, in the similar way, we can use read lines using a read line function. We have read line method. Using read line method, we can access the data. Okay. Next. Uh,
Okay, bro.
uh, so if you want to access the, let's say, this is the first line, this is second line, this is third line, this is fourth line. Let's say in your file you have 4 lines of the code. If I want to access the line by line, then what to do? Then I'll go with line, sorry, read line method. I can go with read line method. How in the sense? Let me show you that. Let me copy the file name. Okay. Okay. First, file pointer, any. I'll go with file, then open method. First argument is the name of the file, then mode R. Here I have opened my file. Once I open file, I have to store all the data of the file into some variable. Let's say I'll go with var, that is the variable which where I want to store my data. File pointer, that is file dot read line. As I told you, read line, sorry, read line method. And once you done, then I'll go with I'll take read line first line. If I want to read the first line, then I'll go with print what I need to print, what where the storage data is stored in var. Just once it is done, you have to close this. What is the file pointer? File is the file pointer, then close method. So this is how you can open. You can read the first line, hello. So what if I want to read the second line also? You can go with uh, var. This is var 1, this is var 2, which means line 1, line 2. Let's say file dot read line, sorry, read line. This is print 1. Then after I want to print var 2, next close this. Means first line I'm trying to access the first line, then second line. See, hello, how? There is a space because it will take one space, one line, one after another. Like I want to access the third line. var3 file dot read line. I want to print third line also, var3. Now close the file. See, hello, how are. So likewise, we can print the content of the file line by line. Okay, here next, I want to read the all the lines at once. At once. I don't want to go for again and again. So for this, we'll go with, this is an example. Then we'll go with read lines method. We have read lines method. Here, instead of taking all the three lines, we'll go with some variable anywhere. Okay. Then we'll go with lines. That's it. Then where, let me run this. See, hello slash n, how slash n. It will be printed in the form of list. In the form of list. Whatever the lines you have, that will be printed. What is slash n here in the sense? New line or end of the line. Okay. The next line, the next line, the next line, the next line. Okay. Are you clear? That's how we can read the entire file in different lines. Any doubts, guys? Okay, good. Next, if I want to,
No, bro.
lines is done, right? Okay, lines is done. Okay, so let's say, hmm, okay, I want to create a file now. Now creating a file using, we'll go with argument. How do we create an argument? See here, same file pointer. We'll go with mm, we'll go with any file pointer. Then we'll go with open method. In this open method, we'll have um, our path where we want to key. Okay, file pointer. Here I'll go with example. Let's say I want to create a file with example. Okay, .txt, and the mode should be X. If you use the access mode as X, it will create a file. Okay, that print that file, whatever the file pointer you have created, that is fptr. Then once it is done, it will go with, if the file ptr is present, then I want to print as the file is successfully created. Okay, if the file creation is done successfully on desktop with the name example.txt, it has to show me on the console the file is successfully created. See, so it says, what it says, IO text input output wrapper name text example x mode encoding this, the file is successfully created. Let's check on the desktop whether that file is got created or not. See here, guys, the file is created here. Are we clear? Any doubts regarding creation of the file? Good, good. Any doubts? If you have no doubts, uh, we'll wind up the session. We'll catch you in the next session, guys.